Hello, good people. This is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker, coming back at you live once again from the Lone Star State with another edition of the Media Mike Speaks. All right, good people, this was brought to my attention. I don't know if you all are aware of this, and this is not new. This is actually old news. It's just out there, but I thought you should know. I think this goes back to 2017. This has been passed already. So I would say it's breaking news, but it's not, but it should be for those of you who do not know. So as you saw in the thumbnail, and as you see in the title, knowingly exposing others to HIV is no longer a felony in California. So let's talk about this. California lawmakers have passed legislation to reduce the penalty for those who knowingly or intentionally expose others to HIV without their knowledge, rolling back a law that mostly affected sex workers. So, mostly, but we all know for those of us who are old enough to know of the HIV epidemic that started in the 80s and 90s. So, actually, it went back longer than that in the 70s, but it blew up in the 80s and 90s. So then California Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill lowering the crime from a felony to a misdemeanor for knowingly exposing a sexual partner to HIV without first disclosing one's status. Wow. Now, good people, take a look here. State Senator Scott Wiener. Now, let me repeat that. State Senator Scott Wiener. Catchy name, huh? This is the one who actually wrote the bill. The senator of San Francisco, Assembly member told Gloria of San Diego, both Democrats, authored the bill known as Senate Bill 239. The two argued that drugs like PrEP and PEP allow people with HIV to live longer, healthier lives. Those drugs also virtually eliminate the possibility of HIV transmission during sex. Well, I don't know if the public ever knew this or not. I don't know, but this would not be good to take chances. Seriously. Anyway, California took a major step toward treating HIV as a public health issue instead of treating people with HIV as criminals, according to Mr. Wiener. He said in a statement. He quotes, HIV should be treated like all other serious infectious diseases, and that's what Senate Bill 239 does. Sir, I thought it was being treated as such, but with the exception of the fact that HIV kills people, sir. But anyway, I digress. The Los Angeles Times noted that HIV was the only communicable disease for which exposure was a felony under state law. Consequently, HIV activists argued that some people resisted getting tested for HIV, which they do. Because, it was a gentleman in New York years ago who went around intentionally exposing people to HIV, sleeping with as many young ladies as possible. And then there was a young lady also who did it. That's when it became a crime. But now they're retracting that. Where are we headed, good people? Where are we headed? State law no longer discourages Californians from getting tested for HIV. Now, Ms. Gloria said in a statement, with the governor's signature, we are helping to reduce the stigma that keeps some from learning their HIV status and getting into treatment to improve their health, extend their lives, and prevent additional infections. Really? Is this what we're doing? This is California, good people. Now, let's take a look here at the when they're talking about the criminalization of HIV. Laws punishing people with HIV began in the 1980s, which I talked about, during the height of the AIDS epidemic, when fear about transmission was rampant and no drugs were available to treat HIV, which I'm pretty sure they did have it, but they didn't want to disclose it. Now, a 2011 analysis by the Centers for Disease Control, listen to this, good people, and Department of Justice found that 33 states had a total of 67 laws explicitly focused on persons living with HIV. Yeah, in 24 states, laws require people who are aware that they have HIV to disclose their status to sexual partners, and 14 states require disclosure to needle-sharing partners. Additionally, 25 states criminalize one or more behaviors that pose a low or negligible risk for HIV transmission. Kudos to all those states who do such. But however, this is where I'm getting at, good people. The American Medical Association and the Infectious Disease Society of America have both publicly condemned laws criminalizing HIV. What the? So when did they change their minds? Wow. Now, this bill does not go without opposition. Well, it didn't. But they still have, those that oppose it. Many Republicans oppose Senate Bill 239, saying it could lead to an increase in HIV infections. Yes, it could. I do agree. Senator Jeff Stone voted against the bill and strongly expressed his disapproval in September when the Senate voted on it. This was years ago. Stone, who is also a pharmacist, took aim at Weiner, and Gloria's argument that modern medicine can lower the spread of HIV. The senator said 3 out of 4 people who are on prescription medication in the United States do not comply with their doctor's orders on how to take it. So you can't force people to do anything. He goes on to say, if you don't take your AIDS medication and you allow for some virus to duplicate and show a presence, then you are able to transmit that disease to an unknowing partner, Stone said on the Senate floor. Stone asked Brown to veto the bill in a letter obtained by CNN. The senator doubled down on his claim that many people do not properly adhere to their drug treatment. Stone also wrote that the bill runs contrary to the state's responsibility of protecting Californians. Senator Joe Anderson, another Republican who voted against the bill, argued that people infected with HIV could never live their lives to the same extent again. He said it was irresponsible not to disclose the possibility of life-altering infections. And he went on to say the critical word in this is intentionally. This I agree, sir. Anderson said in September, when you intentionally put others at risk, you should have responsibility, unquote. I do agree. This is an agenda. I don't know how YouTube's going to look at this on this video, good people, so just bear with me. So we all know what's going on here. I will be sending, I will be putting out other videos regarding something else, but I'm not going to disclose at this point. Thank you for supporting the channel. Once again, thank you. We're at 91 subscribers and growing. Hopefully by the end of the summer, we should be at 100. So let me get this straight. Intentionally giving someone HIV is okay and no longer up for debate. But using the wrong gender pronoun for LGBTQ identification, you get put behind the gate. Shaking my head. We are so far gone and unfortunately misled. Now we have vaxxed that thing up so you can get some and it seems like infectious disease like HIV and God knows what else are now becoming a thing of the past. Wake up, people. Wake up. This is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a good night.